What's happening? It's Dr. Allen here at Evolve Chiropractic in Woodstock. I'm going to go over how to lay down and not hurt your back, and also how to get up from a laying down position without hurting your back. So let's get at it. So ideally when we're laying on our beds or wherever that is, if we have a pillow, you want it to be something that is supportive for the neck. So if you're a back sleeper, that means that you're going to have something supporting the base of the neck and that your head should be relatively flat and level with the floor. So the pillow I have here is called a D-core pillow, the letter D dash core. That's just something that I've used for years. You can find them on Amazon for like 35 bucks. So not super expensive, but they are pretty supportive whether you are a back sleeper or a side sleeper. If you're on your side, you want to make sure that the pillow is the same depth as your shoulder, so that when you're laying on the pillow, it's not letting your head tilt to this side or tilt to this side. So that's pretty much as far as pillows are concerned, what you want to be worried about. Now, as far as laying on your back, I recommend getting either bolsters or a body pillow to kind of bolster up your knees while you're sleeping. So if you're on our back, and I want to go lay down, I'm going to basically start in this position. I'm going to sit on the edge of the bed, and now I'm going to use my hands here to allow myself to come down onto my side. So as I come onto my side, I'm going to lift my feet up, use my elbow to support, feet come up, then I'm going to rest my head down here. Now once I'm here, I'm just going to let that settle for a second. From this point, my shoulder and my hip are going to move at the same time. As I press into this leg, I'm going to roll onto my back. And then from here, I'm going to use my feet to just push and shift very slowly until I'm nice and neutral. Now from this point, I can take my bolster and I can place that under my knees and get to a point where I can relax nice and comfortably on my back here. So from this point, you should be pretty good. You shouldn't have any pain in your low back. If you do, you could get a little higher pillow to go under the knees. This one is a little bit low, but this is essentially for your back sleeping. Now, if I am a side sleeper, I'm going to turn. Now, when I roll over in bed, it's important to remember, pull your belly in, take your shoulder and your hip, and try to move those at the same time. And you can use that bottom leg to kind of shift and scooch your hip underneath you. So if I'm on my side, I want to have a pillow between my knees and my ankles. And I want to make sure that my head is supported about the same width as my shoulder. So again, you don't want something lifting your head up, and you don't want something tilting your head down if it's too thin. So in this position, this is pretty good. It would be nice to have another support, so that's where I was saying like a body pillow would be helpful. So I have something between my knees and my ankles, and then I have something under my arm here just to make sure my shoulder doesn't roll down and end up in this position. So a lot of the times people will be sleeping, their arms will be up here, and they'll wake up, their arms totally numb. We want to make sure we stack our shoulders pretty well, and you have something to support here. If anything, you could bring this shoulder underneath slightly, just to be on a bit of an angle, and this should be a relatively comfortable position for most people. Now when we get up from that laying down position, we still want to keep our back nice and neutral. So I'm going to use that hand. It's almost the reverse of what we just did. I'm going to press into the table. I'm going to walk. Now I use my arm and my elbow. Walk, walk, walk. So when I get up to that seated position, my low back has remained neutral. So that's pretty much the things you need to worry about when you're laying down in bed, when you're going to sleep. If you are a stomach sleeper, don't recommend it. Usually you're going to be putting your back into extra compression. But if you are insistent on that, the way that you would want to do that would be to have a pillow underneath your hips to prevent excessive extension. And then as far as like positioning for your hands, you'd want to stack one hand on top of the other and sleep this way. You don't want to get stuck into rotation or anything like this one way or the other, because what's going to happen is the ligaments are going to get stuck and locked in that position, and you're going to have issues where you're waking up and you got a crick in your neck, or you got a pain in your shoulder or something like that. So stomach sleeping, not advised, but if you're going to do it, if you're stubborn like that, put a pillow under your hips, take the pressure off the low back. So I hope this was helpful, all the different positions you can lay in and how to support your spine in those positions. If you have any questions, reach me here at the office. Have fun with these, get some good night's sleep, and I'll see you next time.